Hi, my name is Justin Onzalike, and for my book report, I chose How Much Is Enough by Arthur Simon. In the book, the author talks about the love of money and the love of materials in the world. And one quote that really stuck with me was that we are to serve God and not mammon. I never heard the term mammon before, so I looked it up, and it means wealth regarded to as an evil influence or worship. In the world, we are very, very possessive of many different things, and we allow those things to determine who we are as people and who we are in the world. And I've always known to never let myself fall in love or put materials over God, but it's very, very common in the world. And God wants us to use the gifts that He gave us to worship Him instead of putting them over Him. And when we put those things over Him, that makes Him very jealous. And even though I know better than to put those things over Him, I still do it blindly, just as everyone else. I mean, we all know that we are supposed to follow God and worship Him and put our focus on our relationship with Him to become better people, but we all fall short. I know I fall short because I really, really love shoes. So, in a sense, I would fall in love with shoes more than working on my relationship with God. It may seem like we are not falling in love with those things, but we are blindly. And that's the devil at work. Like, for instance, when you put yourself at risk just to obtain something, like, for instance, money. Okay, money has become a very, very excessive tool, and we all need money. Don't get that wrong, but when you start to put your love for money over God, then you are falling in love with the wrong thing. When we are to use money to survive, and God wants us to put that same energy that we use toward getting money as to put it toward worshiping Him. So that energy, we are to shift it toward worshiping God and serving God and using the blessings He gave us to worship Him. In a sense, like, I play basketball, so instead of me falling in love with the actual sport basketball, I can use basketball to worship God. Like, when I'm on the court, I use that as a way to worship Him by going out and giving it my all. Another thing the author talks about is pleasure. And pleasure was created by God to be exchanged between husband and wife. And when we do that outside of marriage, we are falling short of God. And fornication has become a very, very huge thing in the world. And it's become so common that people are focused more on fornication and pleasure that they shift away from God. And pleasure can go far beyond just sex and, relationships. It can be something simple as excessive eating or excessive shopping habits, like because you feel the need that you have to buy this or buy that, which actually falls back into material things. And pleasure, even though it feels good, especially, making yourself happy in a sense, we are to use those material things to shift back toward God. And what Arthur Simon is telling us is that even though God gives us all of these things, we are to not fall in love with them, but use them as tools of worship. And that's what I got from reading How Much Is Enough by Arthur Simon.